I think testing is super important. If you're buying an off-the-shelf library, it's reasonable to ask that provider, hey, can you give me a sample? Our LMS is pretty great. Things to talk to content providers about. So if you're an organization that's trying to either build out an instructional design team or you're trying to buy off-the-shelf content from a subject matter expert, SCORM is one of the best ways for those teams to deliver to an LMS administrator in a way that is smooth and seamless. But you should ask those content creators, what standards do you support? Knowing that is important. If they say none, okay, well, maybe your learners must go to their .com. It could be an interesting situation right out of the gate. Asking them how they intend to update a course, either because the content is old or you find mistakes, there should be continuous improvement. And talking to course providers about their strategy for updating can often help you understand how sophisticated they really are. The frequency. Some content needs to be updated daily. We work closely with some healthcare providers that want to be sure every time somebody clicks play, they're getting the right version of the pandemic training, and being able to do those things is important. How often does this library need to be maintained? That can often be the difference between a cross-domain scenario and just, oh, this is how to wear a uniform. It won't change. I think testing is super important. If you're buying an off-the-shelf library, it's reasonable to ask that provider, hey, can you give me a sample? Our LMS is pretty great, but we want to make sure that this works. Test, 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 test. Any content provider trying to integrate with another LMS will have to go through this step. And I think it's important to test maybe before you sign an agreement to buy a big content library. Make sure there's no surprises on the other side. And can the data be exported out to other platforms? I like to avoid silos. I think in modern e-learning ecosystems, we're using many, many different tools at once. And ask those providers, where should people see reports? Can you integrate with my LMS? Do you support the ability to take this data somewhere else? It often spurs a really interesting conversation about how their content will be deployed in your world.